This is Addie Kittleson, and you're listening to the Bomber Buzz.
It's a great day in the Bomber Nation. You're listening to the Bomber Buzz podcast, coming out to you right here from Berthold, North Dakota. Berthold Public School, home of the Bomber Nation. This is Principal Jacob Jenkins. Joining me today, as always, is our Dean of Students, Mr. Rudolph. Mr. Rudolph, how's your week been?
It's been a good week. Another good week. Whenever you got, the good weather that the kids can enjoy, and it's always positive in my eyes.
Yeah, it's hard to get upset when in November. I mean, I guess on Wednesday we had a few little flakes. Yeah. I don't think you can call that snowing.
No, it wasn't. We've had some frost on the slides in the morning, but really it's been just a good week. Yeah, another good week.
Yep, kids and everything.
Yep,
and
without a doubt.
We've got some fun things we're talking about today. We're gonna meet with Wiertzema and Carter Finke. They're gonna tell us about this senior project in democracy, where the seniors got into 4 groups and created their own political parties and then had to campaign. And then we had a little mini election.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it was really neat.
And got a good majority of those guys involved in some things, and they got to see.
That's right.
Yeah, I thought it was real nice.
They even found a way to introduce some scandal. So there's a little plug. You'll have to stay to the end and hear about what that was. Yeah, and then also, we're going to be talking with Lisa Bryantt today. We had a really great volleyball year. Kind of ended in a little disappointment on Monday night, but we're going to kind of wrap up the season and talk with Lisa. And Paul, we're kind of at a lull right now.
Just a big lull right at the moment. Obviously we don't have school Monday.
Right.
But boys and girls wrestling does kick off. First day of official practice is Monday. And really, that's what we've got going from an activity standpoint. We have the early out on Wednesday, which will be, we haven't done this in a while. Getting our teachers together with the Plaza teachers, so the Lewis and Clark district, so to speak.
Meeting together.
Yeah, gets a chance to collaborate together and talk through some things, which is a little bit new in the recent years, I guess, for us.
Yeah, we haven't done it for a few years, so it's pretty great.
I think, everybody has been kind of looking forward to that, but really we've got, boys and girls wrestling starting Monday.
Yep.
Otherwise, we don't have
not a whole lot of activities.
We're kind of quiet.
Yeah. We do on Wednesday. We have our Veterans Day program. If you're a veteran or you know a veteran or you just want to come and see the Veterans Day program, that's open to the public. It's whole school. The entire school's going to do different programs from each grade. I think it's going to be really great. And it's open to the public. Everyone's invited. So if you're looking for something to do on Wednesday morning, come on down for the Veterans program. It starts at 10:45. We plan from 10:45 to 11:20. As I said, each of the classes is going to do a presentation, something to honor our veterans. We'll also have cookies and punch, so you can get some goodies and come and celebrate our veterans. That's on the 13th, November 13th, so it's after Veterans Day, at 10:45 a.m. right here. Also on the 13th, we got Officer Al coming in, doing a little presentation with the elementary. So looking forward to that. Just kind of talking about safety and things like that. And like you said, Mr. Rudolph, we're out of school at 1:30.
Mm-hmm. Yep. A little early. And then, the rest of the week is just normal academics.
Yeah. There we go.
Yep. Then we'll get busy.
Well, yeah,
right. As soon as that Thanksgiving day's over,
it's just games after that, pretty much, isn't it? Just a lot of go.
Yep. Then we're rolling.
Yep. So, all right. Well, as I said, we got a lot of great stuff coming up. We are trying to grow our podcast. So again, we just ask that you let other people that you know in our community and things like that reach out to and let them know about the Bomber Buzz. Tell them how they can listen to us on YouTube or on our website or anywhere you find podcasts. That's just fun to say.
Yeah, it's a good one too.
Yeah. So stay with us here. Lisa Bryantt's coming up next. Sand Pro is a leading sand filtration specialist who uses cutting-edge wellhead technologies and automatic solutions to keep at the forefront of innovation in the oil field automation sector. SandPro prioritizes the rural values of safety, integrity, quality, commitment, and teamwork. Learn more about how SandPro supports local communities and the environment by visiting sandpro.com. SandPro is a proud sponsor of the Bomber Nation.
This is Miss Lottie with your fun fact for the week. Did you know the longest anyone has held their breath underwater is over 24.5 minutes? Now you know.
We're back on the Bomber Buzz, and joining us here today, we have volleyball coach and payroll expert, Lisa Bryantt, to just kind of talk about our year. And our season ended here with a pretty dramatic last match at districts. Tell us, Lisa, a little bit about districts.
First round, we played Glenburn and went 5 with them. It was a battle. It was a 4-5 seeds going against each other, so we knew that was going to be a hard match. We pulled it off, got the win on them. Then we saw our Redeemers the next night and probably played the best that I've seen us play that night. Came really close to taking a set from them, lost in 3 to them, but the second and third sets were as close as you can get. And then we saw Surrey on Monday, and hard fought battle there. We just got outplayed when it came down to it. Couldn't quite pull off a win there. So yeah, kind of a heartbreaker loss on that, but overall a very good season for us, I'd say.
What would you say are some of the highlights for you for this season?
I think overall, you look at our record, we were 21, 11, and 2. So well over 500 mark, and not a lot of losses on the season. Overall, the girls being able to stay up and stay consistent and stay focused and not kind of get down and get frustrated when things start to go pear-shaped. And I'd say that for me was the biggest accomplishment, because in years past we'd see some hard times and then you'd end up dropping the game. And
sure,
we had a couple games where it was neck and neck, and we were able to pull out the win. So I'd say for me personally, highlight, I don't know if the girls would say that, but as a coach, that's what you're looking for, is that improvement.
Sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. You always look for improvement week in and week out. And it's tough when you're coaching and you lose a heartbreaker like we did at the end. We've all been there. I watched a World Series game. Did I tell you this? You watched this World Series game just this past year? Mm-mm. And the Yankees are winning 5-1 in the 5th inning. Right? 5-1 in the 5th inning. The Yankees. Now, the Yankees. Have you ever heard of the Yankees?
They might have come up.
There's 4 teams in baseball that everybody knows about. This is the Yankees.
I think I've heard of them.
Yeah, on the center fielder, you know what happens on batter number 2 in the 5th inning? He drops a routine fly ball.
Oofed.
Right? Next pitch, next batter, ground ball to shortstop, runners at first and second. He tries to get the lead run at third base, throws it away. So now the Dodgers have bases loaded, nobody out, and not a ball has been legally hit, like to get a hit. Mm-hmm. And they're leading 5-1. You know what happened at the end of that inning?
I'd say it's probably tied, or
no,
they were
the Dodgers
down.
are winning.
Oh, jeepers.
Dodgers are winning. So I don't, can the Yankees explain it? I don't know. I wish I could explain it. I don't know how to explain it. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Because it was the first 2 games against Surrey in the region play-in game. That was about some of the best volleyball I'd watched us play. So we'd really put 4 sets back to back. Our Redeemers second and third. Mm-hmm. First 2 games against Surrey back to back, and then there's a little pressure that probably got involved, and there's swings and ebbs and flows in all competition.
Yep.
And it's certainly a tough way to go out, because you had a pretty, you win 66% of your matches roughly, almost, and then that one has to live with you for the rest of the 9 months until you get a chance to go back out there and play again.
Yep. And volleyball is such a game of momentum. It's the one thing that you cannot explain. And you talk to anybody that knows volleyball, and that's the thing of it, is you can't let them get momentum, and they got it and they just ran,
Yeah.
and we could not find
Yeah.
it at all.
They did.
Yeah.
I think the whole auditorium saw that it was just it was a tough one. But and it's hard to overlook, right? I mean, it sure stinks, and it's going to bite you it'll bite you for years to come. To be honest with you, you're not
Yep.
going to get over it.
And I know they're 7, but they had their one big hitter was out for a couple weeks there when they were in the midst of their district play.
Right.
And so knowing that she was back and that they were kind of finding their groove, it was don't take them for granted. You cannot, at this point in time, our district is so hard. And I said that at the beginning of this year that
Right.
we have a handful of teams that could easily make it to regionals, and it's just going to be how it plays out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for us, it didn't play out in our favor.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I watched the district regular season, I thought there were 7 teams that could legitimately qualify for those 4 spots,
Oh, absolutely.
and it was it was a good balance. But the other positive is, when's the last time we'd beaten the other private school in Minot, and we beat them this year for the first time. And
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably
Nick
been
said his career.
in
He
his
told
career.
me.
Yep.
Nick told
Yep.
me his career was the first time we'd beaten them.
Yeah, so that's got to be what
That's
7,
pretty
8
great,
years.
yeah.
7, 8
I'd
years.
say.
So that's a little coup as well.
Oh, absolutely.
And really solid in all the tournaments we played in.
For sure.
Right? I mean,
Oh yeah, yep. Our
Very
tournament
solid
play was very, very good this year.
talk to us a little bit as you reflect and move forward, and the 3-class system
Yeah,
coming into play.
you kind of wish that happened this year, but it didn't. And so I think it'll be interesting. I mean, we lose South Prairie and Des Lacs, and then you gain, what is it? You probably know this.
Drake
a little bit.
Animus,
Drake
we gained
Animus,
Drake Animus, Towner,
Towner.
West Hope,
Hope.
Newburgh. I'm missing one.
Does that put us at? That puts us at 10. No, we're missing one. Velva.
Velva, thank you.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep. We already play them, so I
Yeah.
was like, oh,
Right.
it's not a.
But that'll be
But yeah.
that'll be a district game now.
Yep. So now it makes your chances of going to regionals a little bit harder, but also a little bit easier just because you don't have those big big Class A schools. But I mean,
A little more even match.
you're a little bit
size-wise.
more matched, but then you have to get through a couple more schools.
Right.
And I think looking at next year, it's going to be, I mean, we lost 5 seniors, so that'll be a big hit for us. Glenburn loses 1. So
they don't lose much.
I see them being a big threat
Sure.
next year. Our Redeemers is always a big threat. Velva seems like they're pretty steady. This year they struggled a little bit, but yeah, I think the 3-class system will be really good.
Oh, I
that
do.
you'll be able to see, especially in volleyball, when you can't have someone take over the game like you can in other sports. It's
Right.
not it's more of a team sport, and so that dynamic will come into effect.
Yeah, there were certainly people across the state that weren't jacked about the 3-class system in basketball, and still were a little hesitant even after year 1.
Right.
Although I think there was more. Well, I know there was more people on the positive side of that, and I think we're going to find that in volleyball as well. That we'll see. It's just nice to have those 40 teams that are the smallest in the state, all operating off the same. We're all, we're all
Well,
in the-
absolutely. You don't
Yep.
feel so left out.
Yes.
And,
Yep.
our competitive advantage is more similar than,
Yeah, the 2 perennial powers are both Class A schools. They're moving up into their level,
Yes.
and that's where they should be.
that's where they belong.
Both systems are. The old system probably didn't give us as much travel in a district game. We probably have a little bit more travel in a district game now.
Yep.
Getting up to West Hope and over to Drake and those types of things. But my goodness, a little over an hour.
Right.
We're
Yep.
not.
Yep. We're kind of spoiled over here that we're really close.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were.
But it's
But I think overall, we're going to find that to be pretty positive.
Agreed.
I think it is going to be pretty positive. So,
oh, absolutely.
what else can you tell us?
I'd say just kind of reflecting on the whole year, we had some really good stat lines from the end of the season where you have Ella Brown got her 1,000 assists this year. So
That's great.
That's a big accomplishment for her. Couple girls just kind of missing some of those big 1,000-line stat lines close with hits and digs there. So overall, I'd say this group has worked hard over the last couple of years, and it showed. And shout out to our seniors. We had Brooklyn Blums, who didn't get as much playing time on varsity as she probably wanted, but to stick with volleyball your whole 4 years knowing that you're not getting that playing time, and then putting her in. And I said, okay, you're going to go in on senior night in a position that she hadn't played. She wanted to stay after school or after practice, and say, I want to play. And so I know I need to learn this position. So I think that shows tremendous character on her behalf.
sure.
Also one of the first people jumping up and down on the bench.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Very noticeable when I watch body language and all those different
Absolutely.
things. And
You talk about cheering your teammates on, and she's the one right there. So, I mean, everybody wants to be out there and playing and all that stuff. But I think for the younger ones, it's look at some of these people that maybe don't get that playing time and look at how they react and decide what kind of a human being you're going to be based off of that. And I think Brooklyn
exemplar
is that factor with that. Ella got her 1,000 assists this year. I thought she did a really good job of deciding where to put that ball on sets. She worked her butt off and played defense this year better than she has in the past years. So she will be missed next year, definitely. Then you have Aubrey Shep, who's our middle wall. There's no other way to describe her. She caused teams just problem after problem with her block with that. And our Redeemers, I think, was the team that was like, how do you get around her? And so fun watching her with that. She developed her swing. Her serve became such a threat. So another one you'll miss there. Casey Simons. You watch her have her kills like she did, and Mr. Rudolph and I had talked about her back row attack that she had against Surrey was just
jaw-dropping.
Probably the best that I've seen her swing, where she executed that one perfectly. And then again, her back row play, which a couple years ago she was not passing from the back and asked, how can I get better? And so gave her the list of this is what you need to do. And I mean, hard work from anyone. She's one of the hardest workers out there on the court. And then you have Jerica Shenfish, our libero, just the knowledge that she has of volleyball, and to see the court and be able to be our best serve receive, hands down. And then overall, some of the things that go unnoticed from a libero because they don't get those hits. They don't have those big moments. But she had games where she kept us alive by reading the ball and whatnot. And then again, on the flip side of that, being able to tell those hitters, hey, this is open. If you hit it there, she would rack in quite a few points if you kept track of stats that way. So yeah, I think that's all my seniors there. So they will be very much missed next year. And heck of a season. I don't know if you're going to get a team that has over 80% serving like we did, which was pretty amazing. Such a huge thing for us this year that we relied on. And when we weren't on serving, you could tell. You could really tell. But yeah, 80% serving across the board on all of our main servers. And I mean, stat lines, very, very happy with how this year went. It's just that one game.
I know.
Well, sometimes that's what it comes down to, unfortunately.
Yeah. But that's why we love sports.
Let me tell you from being involved in a long time, you'll remember that one for the next 40 years. Unfortunately. Wish I could tell you you're not gonna.
Yeah.
But you are.
All right. Well, we want to give a big shout out to our volleyball, all the girls, coaches, stats. You guys worked really hard. Like you said, just a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work, really putting yourselves into it. So we are proud of our Bomber Nation volleyball. If you see them around, make sure that you give them a pat on the back. And we'll be right back here in a minute. Sidelines Bar and Grill, located in downtown Berthold, is your go-to for a tasty meal and a cold drink. Come on down for lunch or after a hard day of work. From burgers and wraps to chicken strips, mozzarella sticks, and more, Sidelines will fill you up and satisfy your cravings. Enjoy great friends and conversation over a refreshing beverage or two. When you're looking for somewhere to relax, Sidelines Bar and Grill has you covered. Sidelines Bar and Grill is a proud sponsor of the Bomber Nation. We're back on the Bomber Buzz, and joining us now we have Mr. Wiertzema, and Carter Finke is back. This time he is back in his capacity as president of the GOAT Party. That'll make a little more sense here in just a minute. Mr. Wiertzema, you just did a really interesting project with your seniors. Would you tell us about the project, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So I had the senior class. We gathered them together in our government class that we're taking this fall. And we basically divided the class up into 4 separate groups. And I challenged each of my students to form a group together and basically form their own political party. We hear so much on the news of everything that's going on right now with the election and everything else, and I figured this would be a really good opportunity for my students to kind of identify what things that they care about in the political realm as well as just, everyday life tasks. And so I think basically the main goal I challenged my students was to create their own political party, and then they got to run a campaign. And so they got to go around the school trying to sell their ideas and convince people to vote for their campaign. And along with that, we also got to have some fun, and they got to kind of, take some jabs at other campaigns. And, just like we see in the real political realm, I don't think it got nearly as nasty as some of the stuff we might hear about on the news, but it was a good time. The students had a lot of fun kind of teasing each other and trying to sell themselves to their other students, especially the 7th graders who eventually did vote the GOAT Party into office. So we'll see what that looks like. But yeah, I think it was a really good experience for the seniors getting to know a little bit more about how our political process works in our country.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. They did presentations. Now, a couple of your groups filled commercials, like the GOAT Party had a commercial, and one of your other parties had a commercial.
Yep.
But then you did presentations where they talked to, let's see here, 7th, 8th, 5th, and 6th graders were there for most of it. And then at the end, everyone had to vote. There was a ballot box and everything.
Yes. I have to give credit to my wife. She made the fancy ballot box, not me. So it was very
fancy.
Good.
Yeah. All right. So Carter, when you guys got this project, how did it begin? How were you determined to be the president of your party?
Well, I was basically, everyone was just like, Carter's made enough of a fool himself in the past. It doesn't matter if he does one more embarrassing thing. It doesn't matter if he does one more embarrassing thing. So they just kind of voted me in. And, at first we were just like, okay, we'll do this project. We won't really, get too into it. Like, we wanted to do good, of course, but then we asked Mr. Wiertzema, hey, does the party who gets elected, is there a prize? And he told us yes. So we might have done a little bit of bribing for the 7th graders. We told them if we get voted in and they don't tell anybody, that we'd get them ice cream bars. And so what ended up happening is we got voted and we won and everyone got ice cream bars. So happy ending.
I think we learned that the 7th grade, A, can be bribed, and B, their instant gratification was more important to them than everyone's economic policy.
Did you have a platform past that?
Yeah, we kind of.
Tell everyone what GOAT stood for first of all.
It stood for growth, opportunity, advocacy, and trustworthy. But then, of course, greatest of all time, because we are the greatest party of all time.
And so then what was your platform then?
So basically, well, we relied heavily on the ice cream bars, so that was the main thing. But we tried to, basically our whole thing was the economy, gun policy, and then some other stuff. I don't really remember, to be honest. But
I have a lot of faith in you as president.
Well, yeah. Well, that's all right. It's fine. But no, it was just that sort of stuff, and then kind of all. But what we realized was, everybody's gonna talk about policy and stuff, and these are kids, and no one's gonna really care about facts and stuff. Because I know a couple groups, they had a lot of really good speeches that if you put it in front of a bunch of adults, they would have probably gotten elected in. But then we were like, this is kids. It's probably, they don't really care about your policy or nothing like that. So we're just going to make a funny, make them laugh and obviously the bribery, but make them laugh and then loud colorful ads and stuff like that, and that's what more so appeals to kids than just like straight wall of facts. You know what I mean?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was a lesson that was kind of indirectly learned throughout this process was you have to know your audience, especially as a politician. You know, we talked extensively in class before the election, you know, different states, depending on where they're geographically located in the U.S., they care about certain issues more than other states. You know, like here in North Dakota, we're obviously going to value the economy with the oil industry. You know, other states like border states down south like Arizona, they care more about immigration and border policy. And so I think that was really good for the seniors to learn. And I have to give them credit because I didn't even intentionally build that into the lesson, but they learned you have to learn that, you know, knowing your audience and how to sell yourself to them, that obviously leads to success as they learned.
No, that's really cool.
Yeah, that is. You know, now one of the other classmates did state that turns out if you just talk stupid and bribe people, you win.
Well, they're probably just salty they didn't get any ice cream or something like that. I don't know.
You should have concession ice cream for your opponents.
Yeah, consolidation prize. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was awesome. I thought it was great. I thought it was a good.
Agreed. I really enjoyed the presentations. I thought, it seemed that they really researched what they were talking about too, despite the bribery joke that we're talking about today. It was obvious that all of you still had to learn what is the state of the economy. What are some things that they need? Different parties did talk about immigration. Different people talked about gun control issues, talked about different rights and things like that. And so it was very informed. And I think that was the highlight of the project, is that you guys really engaged in finding out what matters or what is happening, what is the current state, and what would you do to help our country.
Yeah, I also thought it was really good. It was really interesting, you know, when I introduced the project to the students, each group member had a different role. I mean, obviously we heard from the party leaders that gave the speeches, but then we also had people who were in charge of the campaign posters, who were in charge of the commercials. Right. And that was really cool to see the seniors kind of take charge in that. You know, I don't think I had to tell one single group like, hey guys, get to work. You know, like they all kind of took charge. They knew what was expected of them, and each student kind of knew, you know, their own areas of strength and weaknesses. You know, some of them flocked to more of the arts and the more creative side of it. Some of them kind of went more towards the commercial and trying to sell their groups. So that was really cool from this perspective of a teacher, anyways, to watch that unfold.
Agreed. Yeah, it was neat. It was a fun lesson in democracy, if you will.
Yeah.
And timely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for talking about this project. If you want an ice cream bar, pay attention to Carter's political future here. He's got a working strategy, and the ice cream is good. So
it was a good working strategy. You knew your crowd.
Yeah, for sure.
If I ever decide to run for actual president, I know my strategy.
That's right. Ice cream for all. All right. Well, thanks, fellas. Thanks for joining us today on the Bomber Buzz. We got more coming up. United Agronomy's mission is to improve the lives of their patrons and their families by offering data-driven solutions that fit each individual acre. From its start with a Berthold office location in the year 2000, United Agronomy has grown quickly to 4 locations in Berthold, Ross, Parshall, and Williston, and continues to expand their partnerships and offerings. From soil testings and crop scouting to custom spray application and fertilizer delivery and more, United Agronomy offers you the farming solutions you need to get the most out of every acre while exemplifying our small town values. Make sure to visit their website or give them a call to find out how they can help you. United Agronomy is a proud sponsor of the Bomber Nation. You've been listening to the Bomber Buzz. This is our weekly podcast hosted right here in the Bomber Nation. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to like and subscribe so that you get notified of all of our new episodes. We try to post new episodes on Fridays every week, so that you can be informed of all the latest things coming in, going throughout the Bomber Nation and the school. If there's something that you would like to hear, or if you'd like to make an appearance on the podcast, we'd be happy to have you. Just let us know. You can contact myself, Principal Jacob Jenkins, or Dean of Students, Mr. Paul Rudolph. either by email at jacob.jenkins@k12.nd.us or paul.rudolph@k12.nd.us, or simply call the school at 453-3484. We'd be happy to have you on or talk about what's interesting to you. We thank you for listening. Fly high, Bombers.